Howdy, 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 howdy. How's it going, you rat bastards? How's it going here on a hump day, May 11th, 2016? Another edition of the Josh Lopez Wrestling Podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, wherever you get your podcast from. I like to consider this show this laid back fun chat with a good bunch of fellas talking about wrestling and the business we love. It's pure as simple as that. uh, Curious for the kiddies out there. Obviously, they should be in school, so they shouldn't be watching this. But there is some vulgar language throughout the show. But at the same time, we're here to have some fun and talk about the business we want, we love and appreciate. It's no agenda-driven, no narrative BS like ESPN or any other wrestling talk show you'll listen to. We don't need to go into that right now, but I'm Josh Lopez. You can follow me on Twitter at WCJoshLopez. I got a great cast of characters here today. We got the Steel City Saviours today. We'll get into them in just a second. One thing I wanted to say really quick, I wanted to thank everybody over the weekend that wished me a happy birthday. It meant a lot to me, so I just want to give a shout out to everybody that sent me a happy birthday my way last weekend. It's all good and dandy. Let's introduce our first colleague today. I refer to him as Mr. Starks. He is Ronnie Starks from Black Diamond Wrestling. Well, not anymore, actually. He's not doing his own shit. It is Mr. Starks. You can follow him on Twitter at Starks Wrestling. How's it going, good brother?
Good. How about you, my friend?
I'm doing fine. Just like I say every week, I'm trying to survive in this wacky ass city. But how about you?
I'm doing pretty all right. Happy belated birthday. I'm sorry I didn't wish it to you on Facebook, but social media sucks a giant dick, so I really don't care about social media. Not your birthday. I care about your birthday. Just so we're clear.
Also, we got our weekly contributor, as always, my good brother and your good brother as well, Mr. Daley. How's it going, my friend?
Why, hello there, sir. Hello there, everyone at home, however you're watching this. Nothing to see here, just a normal day. Pittsburgh, what's up?
Hump day, yep.
Hump day.
Hump dirt. We got the Steel City Saviours. Obviously, Adam is Ronnie's client. Ronnie will speak for himself, though, on this podcast. Yes, correct. Yes.
He's my business associate, and I may have failed him last year, but I will not fail him again.
Oh, at least your client doesn't come from Steubenville, so we have that going for us.
I'm going to break character for a second off, and I'm really going to play a character today, guys. I'm just going to be absolutely ridiculous for a minute, but I can't believe that you played Steubenville in high school football before, and we're going to have so many talks once we get off camera, brother. You have no idea.
We have a lot to get to today. A lot of good wrestling stuff, as always, not only in WWE, but outside the company. Ring of Honor had a great pay-per-view in Chicago this past Sunday. Talk a little bit about what's going on with NXT. I have a couple of friends already sent me questions about the conference call that Vince McMahon had for Q1. They had some interesting news as far as the content going in the future and a lot of guys coming back and all that good stuff. And we'll talk about Extreme Rules, which is coming up next Sunday, which should be a lot of fun. A lot of good matches on the card so far. There is one sour note that I do need to touch on because I don't understand it, and it's a crock of shit that she's on my television screen. Yes, unfortunately, we'll have to talk about Dana Brooke gracing us with her presence this week. But you know what? In the spirit that we could get Ronnie in a ranting mode, which is good entertainment, as always. Before we get to Raw or anything like that, I wanted to send some good wishes out to Adam Rose because I just heard about him getting arrested, man. Best wishes with him. I don't know if he's going to get fired anytime soon or anything. I hope that's not the case, but fuck, man. He got arrested this late in the morning for battery, domestic violence, tampering, and not a good thing. Did you guys hear about it or no?
Yeah, I caught it right before we came on. It's I feel bad for Adam Rose. Like, I feel bad for a guy like Adam Rose. His story on E60 was so it was touching. It was scary. I mean, it really made you feel for the guy. I wanted him to succeed so bad after I saw that special. And listen, I think more details are going to come out, and I would like to think that there's going to be a way that and I know this is hard to take me serious right now, guys, but I am trying to be serious. So here, at least let me take these off for a second. But I think that I hope this has nothing to do with why he was suspended and the suspension being because of pharmaceutical drugs. And I hope this isn't something where WWE was trying to get him off of something that you can't go cold turkey on.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that there's more to this story that this isn't, because this isn't, to me, the Adam Rose that any of us would have seen. So I would like to think, and again, this is things come from personal experience. A doctor tried to make me go cold turkey on something, and when we were down in New Orleans at WrestleMania 30, I was on the floor of our hotel room, like I just collapsed, So it's I just I hope and I hate to say that I hope it was directed to that, but it will show that it's not the man Adam Rose. It was once again reactions from these pharmaceutical drugs, and obviously there was something there because I think it was an Adderall. I think that he had a prescription for.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And people don't understand the dangers of Adderall. I mean, but these doctors can hand them out, and I'm not going to wax poetic about this because it's something that really hits me hard. But this is where I hope that it was something where the doctors, because of WWE, he had to get off something real quick. There was a reaction that way because this is not the Adam Rose. I don't think that this is not Adam Rose. This is not Ray Lupon. I think this is something else, and this is just me. How I'm going to believe it for right now.
Ronnie, any thoughts, bud?
This is the first I'm hearing it, but I did just wake up like 40 minutes ago, so that's crazy. I feel bad for him. I hope everything's okay.
It's kind of odd. If it's not related to the drug thing, and then he gets arrested, and then obviously we heard about a report about more fire rates coming soon. It's just a bad thing to come out like that. It's unfortunate that he got himself in that situation. He does have some part of blame for getting arrested. I'm not talking about the drug thing, but when you're suspended and then you get arrested during that time period, you're not doing yourself any favors. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that we could put the proverbial fork in the mouth. As much as it pains me to say it, but and again, guys, if anyone wondered why I went straight to the Adderall thing, it's just because Adderall is legal meth, guys. That's all it is. Let's do some research about this stuff. Just don't watch these commercials on TV and throw stuff down your throat, man.
Yeah.
And I'm not blaming that on Adam Rose either, guys. Please, I'm not. Everyone knows that I talk very openly to raise awareness. It's Mental Health Awareness Month, guys. So absolutely, I think that if anything, we should be looking at this from a different microscope, a different set of glasses, so to speak. So that's the only reason why I bring that up. So please, people that are going to try and say that I was saying that Adam Rose is doing this, no, I'm just hoping that it was more something like that versus just Adam Rose, the person. So,
right. It's interesting here. Like you're saying, do your research, and I couldn't agree more. And I think a lot of wrestling fans should do their own research instead of going off Dave Meltzer all the time. But that's my opinion. I have a different way of studying the business than just going off all the internet reports. Yeah, I do play-by-play articles, but I'm actually studying and writing down what's on the TV show. So I don't know if I'm doing myself a disservice in that way, but you have to do your research in a lot of ways. I'd rather have somebody have a coherent thought when they actually took time to look at that topic instead of just spewing out shit just for the hell of it. You know what? Another cool thing that happened over the weekend, besides the Bullet Club stuff, happened at Evolve in New York this past weekend. We see EC3 come out with Drew Galloway, and EC3 kind of waxing poetic in a bad way about his experience with the original NXT. Talked about how he and Galloway are last of the independents, even though they got a TV contract with TNA. It brought a lot of buzz. It was interesting. I checked out the promo. EC3 is a good performer. I think he's very good on the mic. I think he's very underrated in the ring, in my point of view. He's one of the only reasons why I enjoy covering TNA each week. There's not a lot of reasons to enjoy covering TNA, especially when Josh Matthews is calling the show every single week. Ronnie can attest to that because I know he's checked out the show on and off. It's bad. And EC3 is a great performer, and he's got some buzz for himself. So I give him credit where credit's due to do that. You're coming out of a bad situation with TNA, but you're still getting buzz for yourself in another company, especially on the night when they're doing qualifying matches for a WWE run series on the network. So I give credit to EC3. Let's start off with Adam here. What was your thoughts on the whole EC3 shenanigans this past weekend?
Listen, here's where I think it's so crazy when you look at the wrestling world right now, and I know a lot of people don't like it here, there, or whatever, but Evolve's big time has a very big relationship with WWE, and this is on a night when they were holding the cruiserweight, the cruiserweight championship tournament. They're holding, I believe, a couple matches for that, and then in the ring, I believe it was Johnny Gargano was in the ring, who has been on NXT recently.
Yeah.
And he ends up getting stomped out by EC3 and Drew Galloway, who cut a shoot promo, TNA talents, who cut a shoot promo on WWE in an Evolve ring. It really does anybody see how great this is? I was like, this is insanity. Everyone knows I'm a huge Galloway fan. I don't hide that. EC3 over the years has really grown on me, and I really want to give a shout out to Doug McDonald for that, because Doug put me back on EC3. Had no idea that it was old Derek Bateman, just because I was out of TNA. So shout out to Doug McDonald, Doug O'Mac. I appreciate you, brother, because I love EC3's work. And it's just amazing. Gabe Sapolsky's a genius. He is a genius. That is incredible booking. I don't know. I don't know. I thought it was amazing, Josh. What did you think?
I thought it was cool. I thought it was really something out of the box. And EC3 is Dylon, whether he's in NXT, at Evolve, TNA, WWE. Dylon. For any old Chappelle fans, you'll understand the reference. Mr. Starks, so what was your thoughts on EC3's promo at Evolve?
Man, what a great time to be a wrestling fan, right? You have all this great stuff going on. If you didn't think that William Regal or somebody from WWE was backstage when that happened, you're kidding yourselves. There's got to be some kind of cooperation going on for that to even go down in a show.
Yeah.
And if I'm not gonna say it's gonna be an invasion angle. If there is, it'll be on Evolve and not on like WWE or TNA programming. Mm-hmm. But it's great for TNA and NXT people to face each other. I like it. I think it's great. The promo was great.
So if Evolve is the quasi-developmental for NXT, you're in store for a good run in the business. If people are disagreeing with me, then you're just out of touch, because Evolve is one of those independent brands that still has staying power. Obviously, they've had changes over the years, but like a PWG or any of the companies in the UK, Evolve has always stand ground over the years, and they're bringing out great talents. I'm sure there's been a bunch of talents in WWE that have come from Evolve over the years. Daniel Bryan comes to mind. Hell, he even came up with the Evolve name with Gabe Sapolsky. So, I think it's good business for everybody. It helps TNA get some positive light they haven't had in 3 years out of that for their talent. It's helped NXT get some buzz, because you don't know who could pop up anywhere in these shows or these cruiserweight series. I just think it's, like Ronnie said, it's a great time to be a wrestling fan, and it's a great thing for the business as well.
And you know what I do? We absolutely. I want to give another round of applause to Gabe Sapolsky, because listen, this is a guy that if you're not familiar with him, anybody watching, please educate yourself on Gabe Sapolsky. I mean, he ran Ring of Honor for a very long time when guys like CM Punk were there, Daniel Bryan were there. Daniel Bryan, I think, kind of went over to Evolve in a way. I think with Gabe. So. And I could be wrong about that, but there's a lot of tie-ins with him and a lot of talent that came not only during the Ring of Honor period, where if you looked at the stars of Ring of Honor then, they're stars in WWE now,
Yeah.
And I just think that he's a genius. He's a professional wrestling genius. He gets it, and guys, just educate yourself on Gabe Sapolsky.
One of my favorite parts of when I was doing the Pro Wrestling Experience was when I got to interview Gabe Sapolsky last year. It was when Sami Zayn was going to be the first NXT guy to appear at Evolve show during that partnership, but he didn't do anything in the ring. He was just signing autographs. But it was that weekend, and I got to talk to Gabe, and it's just the light in his eyes, and he felt like something was growing in the business in the right way, not just for his business, but also for WWE as well. So I learned a lot from Gabe from the conversation I taught to him. It's just in that brief time. Like Adam said, he's the man. Let's go into Raw really quick. I'll say this. Like I said, it's 52 weeks. You're not gonna have the greatest shows every single week, especially when you're in Omaha, Nebraska. It's just you're not in for good things. But I will say this though, for a show that's in between a 3-week period, building up for a pay-per-view. There's only so much you can do. I mean, a lot of these things are coming back from payback, so we're expecting to see that at Extreme Rules. And a lot of times with these builds to pay-per-views, you have to do shows that are in between. They're there. I didn't think the show was horrible. I didn't think the show was bad. I didn't hate the show. I didn't think the show was the best show of the year. I thought it was solid. I thought it was solid. I gave it a B minus. I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was horrible. I didn't think it was all time great or anything. I enjoyed the Sami Zayn Miz match. I gotta say this: Miz has improved so much in the last year and a half in his in-ring work. If you had a comeback player or a comeback wrestler of the year award like they have in baseball or whatever, I would give it to Miz because he's killing it. He's killing it on SmackDown each week. He's killing it on Raw now. And Miz is killing it. Besides that, I liked the Shades of Grey. I put a post about this on Facebook the other day. It's 2016. You cannot have a clear good guy versus a clear bad guy scenario in wrestling anymore. It doesn't work. I'm sorry, it doesn't work. You know, you have a couple of cases where you have guys who could connect with the crowd no matter what, like a Daniel Bryan or whoever, or CM Punk. But in this case, I'd rather have more questions than I have answers when it comes to these storylines. So I don't know where Stephanie and Shane is going with their angle, and I'm fine with that. This thing's going to go through SummerSlam. Then you have the Shades of Grey with Roman Reigns and AJ Styles. You heard a split reaction this week. Let's go AJ. Let's go Roman. That hasn't happened at all since Roman Reigns' singles run. So obviously the Shades of Grey is working in this scenario. You're having more questions than answers. I'll say this: I have two things that I hated about this week's Raw. The Golden Truth, whatever Gold Dangle thing, that has to stop. I mean, I'm fine with those guys having time for TV, but that was god awful. And then the second thing was seeing Dana Brooke pop on screen. Now I'll say this: I'm happy they're actually giving a storyline to Emma and Becky Lynch, but nobody gives a flying fuck about Dana Brooke. I'm sorry, they didn't care about her in NXT. They're certainly as hell not going to care about her now. So let's start with Ronnie here. What was your thoughts on Raw? What did you like? What you didn't like? And I'll let you go off on Dana Brooke.
Well, here's the thing. I worked till 9 o'clock, so I missed the first hour and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, I turned my TV on right at the time that Dana Brooke showed up. So I'm so happy that I turned on my TV at 9:30 to see her ugly mug. So that's just been fucking tastic. I'm trying to actually remember what happened on Raw. It wasn't that memorable for me because I'm like, hey, all right, I'm watching an hour and a half of wrestling. Great.
Yeah.
I did watch Zack Ryder versus Kevin Owens. I think that was like one of two matches that were left on the show by the time I tuned in.
Mm-hmm.
That was good. You know what? I give Zack Ryder a lot of shit, but I've been a Zack Ryder fan for a long time. Just like I said about WrestleMania, that threw me off that he became Intercontinental Champion because I came out of left field. But, you know, when you put him on TV, he really is killing it. Mm-hmm. So him and Kevin Owens had a pretty good one on Monday. I did watch the tag match, or the elimination match. That was alright. Nebraska sucks as a town, by the way, because those people clearly have no intelligence of anything. Like, you go anywhere else in this godforsaken world, and everybody's booing Roman Reigns. You go to Omaha, Nebraska, and, oh, yay, we love Roman Reigns, we're all fucking retards here in Omaha. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, why is everybody cheering for this motherfucker? And everybody's, like, booing AJ at first. I'm like, you people are stupid.
Yeah.
I'm talking grade A, southern, not-so-hospitality, redneck motherfucking stupid. That's what I'm talking about. They're in Omaha, Nebraska. So.
I think they are probably 49th in country IQ. 50th is North Carolina.
You guys know what the best part about Omaha, Nebraska is?
Leaving?
Yeah. That was actually my answer. Yes.
I could say the same thing about Cleveland as well, but
Well,
here, there.
man, I've
Um,
been to Cleveland more times than I care to even tell people. So,
One of my other favorite parts from the show was seeing Big Cass and his interaction with Chris Jericho and how Dean Ambrose came and broke the light up jacket. By the way, rest in peace, light up jacket. I know that that hits Adam right in the heart. We'll let him go into this real quick, but it was a good night for Big Cass. I'm glad he's not in a thing where I'm just gonna throw him on main event and superstars because Enzo's not on TV. The guy has value. He's kind of I think he's better than Baron Corbin in a way as a performer, but that's me. He has more connection to the crowd than Baron Corbin does, and he's getting a nice spotlight. And then I thought it was kind of cool. We always talk about, they always do the same things all the time, blah, 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 blah. To see Ambrose attack Jericho from behind and then come down the ring with the jacket, I thought it was cool. It was something out of the box, and to see how they broke the jacket, I thought it was pretty cool. Mr. Daley, overall, general thoughts on Raw and the whole Big Cass and Jericho stuff?
Well, first and foremost, this is why I've donned the sunglasses and the sparkles, because I'm in mourning of Chris Jericho's jacket. I joked about this, but I could be more serious. That I thought about starting a GoFundMe page one time for Chris Jericho's jacket. So right now, I maybe I'm still in that mourning phase where I'm not quite over that yet. Let's face it, he has like 50 of them. I don't even think that was but you know what? Here's one thing that I think, and I put this out on Twitter, and I don't want anybody to think that I said, Big Cass stole the show, but I think this was a big coming out party for Big Cass. It showed that he can hang on the microphone by himself with confidence. Like I don't know, he just seemed like just confidence was like coming off the dude. You know what I mean? Just when he was cutting his promos and just when he was in the ring with Chris Jericho, again, like a lot of people would fold in that situation. And we forget about that when John Cena first started out. We always, make the joke, Jericho always has to do the job. But, it's Chris Jericho knows how. He's one of those guys that knows he's easy to work with. They always say that if you're a worker, it means you're helping you're helping to put somebody over. And he made Big Cass honestly look like Big Cass could be a single star. And that I thought it was a nice surprise. We'll say that. At first I was really questioning why they were doing it, but now I see it, and it was a very nice surprise. And I think that's important because it's going to show that Enzo isn't the only one carrying the weight in that tag team. So.
Mm-hmm. And the good thing about this new era, just like when the whole Divas Revolution, whatever you want to call it, thing that happened last year. Look, I get it. It's marketing. It's a corporate shill thing. It's a thing from Kevin Dunn. WWE, in a way, goes really deep and hard about trying new things, and they'll hit you over the head with it, especially when the network came out, like the WWE app came out. You guys remember how many times they said WWE app when it first came out. Okay, it's annoying at first, but in the long run, you'll realize it is a new era, and things are changing for the better. Just like the whole Divas Revolution thing. Yeah, it was annoying, blah, 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 blah. They hit it over our head with it. But you got longer matches. You got girls that you wanted to see perform in bigger spotlights. Nikki Bella's title reign came to an end. And, it changed for the better in the long run. I think the same thing's going to happen here with the new era. And you know what? Hey, Big Cass and Jericho started Raw. It wasn't Shane and Stephanie. Shane and Stephanie followed up their stipulations, like when Ric Flair got booted running back during that match with Charlotte and Paige. Hey, Paige picked up a victory out of nowhere. Nice to see her on my TV screen again. I have to say that.
Anytime they beat something into our heads, guys, it's branding, man.
That's all it is.
That's the name of the game. But that's the name of the game at the end of the day. And if you say it if you say it once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, that's sales. You say it 5 times, and that's typically you get the people to buy in. And let's face it, it's different. This is more entertainment versus wrestling, and that's what I think what the hardest part for people to just really realize. And listen, if you want to hate on WWE for it, that's cool. But it's just that's what they mean by the new era. It is you have to have that reality TV. If we're still going to suspend our disbelief, we can't have certain kind of characters anymore.
Yeah.
It just isn't going to work. We need this I actually like that there was a 50-50 split. I'm not going to lie. I rag on Nebraska a little bit, but only because I think North Carolina is the only state that literally is stupider than North Carolina or than Nebraska. But I actually enjoyed the fact that there was that 50-50 split again, because then it made it seem like, okay, you didn't really know. It gave AJ reason to kind of show little heelish mannerisms every once in a while. If he was getting ways that he could look at the crowd, I think that's just important overall, because you're not going to get cheered in every city. You're not going to get booed in every city. At least you shouldn't, because the country's so different in every city. Each of these personalities should get a different reaction in every city. Maybe maybe that's just how I see it, but I see it differently, baby.
I think I want to bring this up to Ronnie. So JBL, I say it all the time. He's probably, besides Josh Matthews, the worst commentator in wrestling. He's god awful. He takes away from the TV. Sometimes, guys, if it's not an in-ring promo or backstage segment, I have my headphones on and I'm listening to music during Raw. I'm serious. I have the noise in the background. If I hear the crowd loud, I'll know it's something good. But God. Ronnie, let me bring this up because there's been some scuttlebutt back and forth about how Anderson and Gallows have been presented, booked, or whatever since they returned to WWE. I think it's kind of hindrance with JBL bloviates over them because it's not genuine in my point of view of how JBL talks about Anderson and Gallows. Yeah, it's cool that they're mentioning the New Japan history. They won titles and this and that. I bet if you could ask Anderson and Gallows in person right now, I bet you they're having a good time. Yeah, they're not as dominant as maybe Nash and Hall when they first came into WCW, but if I asked you earlier this year, Ronnie, you'd probably agree with me. You probably wouldn't expect to see Anderson and Gallows in main events of Raw, right?
No, I wouldn't. And which is awesome that they are. Like, I understand why people were whining about how they're being booked. They're being booked fine. This whole thing is great. And the payoff will be great in the end, too. Everybody just needs to shut the fuck up and enjoy it. And I have some shameless pandering. Are you guys ready?
Yes.
All right. For starters, I believe you used the term long and hard. You know who would agree with that? Deadpool. You know what came out on Tuesday?
Yes.
Deadpool came out on DVD and Blu-ray this Tuesday. Go buy it, everybody. Ryan Reynolds is not paying me money to do that. Deadpool might be, but not Ryan Reynolds.
We've watched Deadpool every single day for the past 10 to 11. We bought it on digital download, just on our cable, or whatever, maybe 10 days ago. Sam's probably watched it, I think, 30 times.
I forgot the girl's last name, the love interest. I know it's Marina something.
Marina Baccarin.
Yeah. She's awesome. She's really good. Deadpool, by the way, highest grossing comic book movie of all time. Rated R movie of all time.
I know.
Wolverine got the green light to be in R rating too when they came out with Wolverine 3. I guess that's what they're calling it or whatever. Or Hugh Jackman's last Wolverine movie, R rating. So.
Hey, speaking of gray area, look at that. Deadpool. He tells you right off the bat he doesn't give a shit about how things are supposed to be. He pokes fun at other comic books. Yeah, he fights for a good reason, but still, you don't know where he's gonna go.
You say, Josh, that he's not a good guy. He's not a bad guy. He's just
the guy. He is.
And Adam, I would also like to, another shameless pandering and then shots fired at the same time. I believe you said as a worker you're supposed to help other guys out in the process, right?
Yes.
Boy, somebody better tell that to people around here.
Well, I didn't even. I'm just going from what I've read in different books and different. I just did research. I don't know. Like I said, I've never performed in a ring, but just out of all the different biographies that I've read and autobiographies, different things. That's all. Maybe that's just me.
It's a level of professionalism that some areas don't follow. So yeah.
I hate that I intentionally softballed you a reason that I'm so mad at myself for that now.
No, it's fine. I thought it was funny because I just wanted to put a jab in there. Anybody who's gonna watch this and call me a motherfucker later. But
I look like the instigator. I look like.
I am the Wade Wilson of Pittsburgh Indie Wrestling, so it's all right.
I could talk about how low some wrestling media members could go. and I can speak from experience, but anyways,
back on topic. Sorry, everybody. That was
it's all good. You guys listen to the Josh Lopez Wrestling Podcast here. You can subscribe on iTunes. It drops every Wednesdays. It's fun here chatting with my brothers Ronnie Starks and Adam Daley, the Steel City Saviours. Follow these great gentlemen at Twitter at Starks Wrestling. Give them shit. They'll probably say some funny joke or they'll just rip the shit out of you. Why not? Follow Adam at Twitter as well at Adam Daley 13. Like I said earlier, Omaha, Nebraska, you just suck pure ass. There's no reason why you should have Raws in Omaha, Nebraska. I'm fine if it's a SmackDown or something, but this is your flagship show. You can't have Raws in Bumblefuck USA. I'm sorry, you just can't do that. Anyways, Raw next week actually is in Greensboro. How ironic, Adam, you bring up Carolina. Raw next week's in the Greensboro Coliseum. Yep. Yeah, Mago. Go back to Memphis.
WWE's not gonna pull out of there, huh? Which they should. Shout out to anybody, any musical artist that have been boycotting North Carolina. Thumbs up. And that's just, listen, it is what it is. Like, you just come on, man. People are so out to lunch. But yeah, so I guess it's in North Carolina.
Extreme Rules coming up next Sunday. I think it's a good card so far. I mean, I think it's the right choice to get Kalisto back. Rusev back in the U.S. title picture. Kalisto hasn't done anything for it. It is what it is. He hasn't done jack shit for the U.S. title. I think it'll be a good match. Rusev is seen to come off more leaner and more like he has like a more imitating presence in the ring now, and I'm happy that he's back with Lana. I think that's gonna be a good match. I'll say the predictions for next week, but another good thing I want to say, one last thing for Raw. The whole Miz, Cesaro, Zayn, and Owens thing, I think that's going to be gold as far as the IC 4-way title match. Ronnie, what's your thoughts on that match coming up at Extreme Rules?
The Intercontinental, dude, it's going to be great. And the Intercontinental title match is going to be great, and I think the U.S. title match is going to be good, too. It's not really Kalisto's fault that he's not doing anything for the title. It's that WWE itself isn't letting him do anything.
Yeah.
They're just like, well, you're the secondary championship. We're not really putting you on the show. And it's weird. And then you have Sin Cara win a match on Raw, which I don't know why. That's good for Hunico, I guess.
Yeah.
Good for him. They should just drop the Sin Cara character in general and just let Hunico be Hunico.
Yeah. You know, I didn't mind it. I thought it was kind of funny when he was riding down the ramp with the bike. Him and Camacho, I thought it was a good pairing, actually.
Yeah, there was nothing racist about that at all. Like,
I'm Hispanic, and yeah, but I know a lot of guys like that. Hey, reality is reality, I guess.
I mean, they let Mexicans ride lawnmowers to the ring, so hey, you know, like, shit.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
They're not Mexicans, they're Mexicools, bro.
Mexico. Oh, God. You know what else was weird? Maybe it's me, but the way Stephanie was looking at Shane this past Monday, I thought they were about to get it on in the room.
I just said the same thing. I was like, this weird sexual tension is like...
Yeah,
I mean, I get it. Stephanie McMahon is hot, man. I mean, who wouldn't get those vibes with her? But still, your brother... It's just... Yeah.
Obviously, that's just probably just looking for something to laugh about, but I don't know. I don't think we're the only ones that caught that. I was gonna say, because I didn't see anything obviously online, but if you guys caught that too, then we probably all caught that.
Are we gonna see some kind of parody now? Are we gonna say, "Here comes the money shot"? Like, is there gonna be like a porn parody coming out of this?
Oh God. You know, I will say this, though. I know there's a lot of Nimrods that tweet during Monday night because they just like to copy what everybody else says on Twitter instead of coming up with an original thought. But I will say one of the good things that comes with wrestling and tweeting during Monday nights is creativity some of these guys have with the photoshops and the memes and the pictures that come out. I will say that I think that's a cool part about wrestling, how they have the pictures just come out of nowhere. I think that's very funny.
Sam from the Peanut Gallery, the monkeys in the truck, as we like to call them. Sam said that basically, and I didn't know this was a thing. I don't know, maybe people out there would know there was a thing. I know I look very Hollywood today, or not really, but I guess Jill incest was the thing because of the Gyllenhaal brother and sister. There was like a weird like internet thing for a minute about Jill incest. So Sam from the Peanut Gallery, that was their Jill incest. Which I don't know. Maybe I'm not at the age where I care about what goes on with like these little award shows or something. But I guess like that was like a thing. I don't know.
Jill incest, Brokeback Mountain. We got the trifecta over here, possibly. Who knows? Anyways, going back to Extreme Rules, Roman Reigns and AJ Styles. I think it's gonna be a good match. Obviously, you're gonna have some toys, as JBL refers to that. Oh, here comes the toys, Mago. Here comes the toys. I don't know if it'll be better than their payback match, but who knows? Maybe that caused more chaos than their payback match because there's no shenanigans in this Extreme Rules match. I remember Kane one year against Daniel Bryan put the table on fire. I didn't see that coming. So you never know what comes with these Extreme Rules matches anymore. I think the hardcore pay-per-views come kind of passe, but hey, you have that fans that just wants hardcore wrestling and want people to die at a young age for some reason. I don't know why. Anyways, Ronnie, any scenario you think Finn Balor even shows up in this match, or would you rather let that continue and have the guessing game?
I like the guessing game. Trust me, I like Finn Balor on the main roster as much as the next guy, but I don't think they're ready to bring him up yet. It seems like he's going to get his rematch is it the end of this month, or when is that?
June 8th.
June 8th, all right. Hey, there's going to be an NXT show 2 days after my birthday. All right.
NXT Steel Cage match, Finn Balor versus Samoa Joe. So that's going to be pretty cool.
It better be the classic blue cage, or I'm going to like throw something.
It may be like one of those like really dark black cages, like the one during the Attitude Era.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Not like the shitty whatever the hell cage they have now.
By the way, if they do the whole yellow and black color scheme, I think that's gonna look like shit. It's just like two guys fighting in a taxi cab cage. Like, come on.
Hey man, anytime I used to create a ring or create an arena on the game, the Steel City Saviours ring was black matting, gold. It was black, gold. Yeah, so I'm taking it. I would love that. I want the cage actually to be gold. I really do.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Speaking of black and gold, I want to give out congrats to you guys. Penguins are on to the Eastern Conference Finals. Overtime victory over the overrated Washington Capitals, especially overrated Alex Ovechkin. Adam, I knew you had concerns early on, but the Pens move on 6 games, so they have a good shot actually. I studied a lot of the hockey games this season. For those that don't know, outside of wrestling, I do a lot of sports articles for a living, and they're good. I think they have a shot here.
First, I'll say that listen, Washington owes us big time. They're gonna when they come for theirs. Washington's gonna get us bad because what goes around always comes around. So I guess that's why I'm not getting. This is 2 playoff series now, and every dog has their day, and they're gonna come back. So I'm not. Congratulations to the Caps. Great series, exciting series. I didn't realize the game. Hey guys, I haven't been watching hockey as much, but I'm excited that there might be a Daley on the Stanley Cup under Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Ronnie, did you get to watch the game last night or no?
Unlike Adam, I am a jerk, so suck it, Ovi. You worthless piece of shit. You will never get a Stanley Cup. You're just as shitty as the Flyers. We're going to face the Lightning, right? Yeah, we're facing the Lightning in this round, which will affect the series.
Hogan claims to be a big Tampa Bay fan anytime they want to pay him, so I'm sure.
Virgil versus Hulk Hogan. I don't know if Virgil's a hockey fan. Who knows?
First of all, don't mesh Pittsburgh in with Virgil, okay? If I wanted to do anything Virgil was, I'd set up a gimmick table at the Pittsburgh Mills Mall. Like, Jesus Christ. Fucking Virgil.
Hey, just for the comic relief here, especially for this hump day. Ronnie, any virtual stories that you can't say on air
Oh,
for the of it?
I can tell my Virgil story. Virgil managed me on a show once,
Oh wow.
and I had to hold on to his payday, which was $100. Yeah, it was $100. The promoter gave me his money, and the gimmick was during the match, Virgil will put me in the $1 million dream, take his payday, grab his bags, and leave. Because knowing Virgil, he would have just took his payday and left
Yeah.
without doing the show.
Hmm.
It's his fuck money, you know? And but actually, Virgil's a really nice guy. We talked. He had a fun time working with me. I had a fun time working with him.
Hmm.
But other than that, Virgil sets up gimmick tables all over Pittsburgh. That's his thing. He usually sets it up at Giant Eagle in Robinson all the time, I think. So he'll legit go into Giant Eagle, put a table down, put his little thing on. Virgil with Ted DiBiase, $1 million champion. He'll bring his replica $1 million championship, his 8x10s, and he'll sit there and he'll have a conversation with you. Then he'll sign an autograph, hand it to you, and be like, "Well, that's $50, brother." And then like, "I didn't even want your autograph. Like, you just randomly handed it to me,
I was 17. This is my sophomore year of high school. Chicago had the Comic-Con in Rosemont at the Donald E. Stevens Convention Center. Ted DiBiase and Virgil were there. I kind of feel bad about this because you think Virgil scams you off of money, but this is not the case here. So the autograph was like $15, right? I gave him a 20. Virgil forgot that I was supposed to get $5 back. What Virgil did was caught me off guard. He accidentally slipped a 10 under it, so I got $15 back from the autograph I got from Virgil and Ted DiBiase. So I haven't told anybody that story, so I actually scammed Virgil without even knowing it.
Congratulations, man. Not a lot of people can scam Virgil. So.
Yeah, Virgil puts some wild stuff. I mean, listen, I know a lot of times that, like, you guys, but everything I put on Twitter is all satirical and joking. And, like, if you've caught on that by now, like, come on, man. But it's when Virgil crosses some lines sometimes. It's he calls out too many things. But one thing I'll say is Virgil never met a scam he didn't like. That's for sure.
Correct.
Turner taught him well, man.
Do anything for money. So
we heard about the Global Cruiserweight Series. I just found out that I'm actually covering the Cruiserweight Series show on the network, so I'm looking forward to that. That's gonna be a lot of fun. Guys, would you be interested in a King of the Ring format for women on the network? Would you be interested in like a network special of women, like a full women's show, like tournament type of thing, or no?
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I would love it. I think it'd be awesome for like a Queen of the Ring, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that'd be cool.
Yeah, just like something where you could do it like in the middle of July. Whoever wins that match gets to fight Charlotte at SummerSlam.
Well, it goes back to, and I want to get both your guys' opinion on this. It goes back to, and I understand that. Listen, we're not going to change it overnight. Things happen gradually, but you know what? If instead, why don't you make this the year that implement Money in the Bank for women, implement Queen of the Ring, have a King of the Ring / Queen of the Ring tournament going on at the same time during like the slower months, like you said, the summer months, stuff like that. Implement the same things, like make sure Survivor Series, you have one of those big-time field traditional Survivor Series. I mean, make this actually, now that it is the women's division, kickstart it. Like, don't strike while the iron's hot. Make it seem like, yes, we're all in on this, because then I think fans really buy into it. Okay, they are all in. And even if it's not perfect yet, you're giving more people hope.
Ronnie, how about you, bud?
I agree. I would go for Queen of the Ring. I'd watch that. If Dana Brooke would stay off of it, yeah, I'd go about it.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna
first round exit.
I'm actually gonna go. You know what? I'm gonna go against you on this, dude. I think Dana Brooke coming up is a really good thing, because this is gonna give Emma that extra little something she needs to possibly be in the title picture.
There's plenty of other people who could have been called up.
It makes sense because of their relationship in NXT, and that's why I hate Dana Brooke. It's a character, guys. It's a character. Please, here we go again. I don't like the character Dana Brooke, but I think it was best for business because we keep and again, I don't know, Josh. What do you think? This keeps piling on to Bayley more sympathy for Bayley, so that when she finally does make that main roster debut, she is so over. It's insane.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna be the heel here, and I'm gonna keep it 100 right here. Who would you rather see with Emma right now, Dana Brooke or Eva Marie?
Thank you.
I'd take a bullet to the brain for 100, dude.
Adam, keep it 100.
Brooke, I mean, that's all day long, but watch what you said, man, because next thing you know, Ava Marie will be up, and they'll have a 3-person.
I'm not asking for Eva Marie to come on TV. Trust me. You know what? You bring up a great point there, Adam. And you know, with this network in the new era, wherever we're calling it, they have the platform to do whatever the fuck they want in a way. You own the WCW library. You own the ECW library. You could take concepts from those things. Like, you could have a War Games. You can have a Survivor Series where it's just all Survivor Series matches like back in the day. There's so much stuff you could do with that. All I ask is never do a King of the Mountain type of match, because I've covered 3 King of the Mountain matches in the last 6 weeks, and I've had my I had enough of them already.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, that title has been recycled more times than
The hardcore title?
Give me something provocative to say about that title.
It's been more recycled than Kim Kardashian's badge.
Take it. I will take it. Alright, so let's see. It was a Legends title. It was the TV title. What was the title in between somewhere?
The global title?
The global title, and then it was the King of the Mountain. Like, do they get new titles made, or they just put a sticker over the Legends?
Seriously, the King of the Mountain title looks like the Knockouts title. Like, the way it's designed on the belt. It's garbage. It's absolutely brutal.
So it's not the same title as it has been for, like, the past?
No.
Okay, so they actually spent money and got a real fucking belt. Well, a garbage belt, but nonetheless. Goddamn TNA, just close already, you fucking bastards.
I hear the conversation each week growing about a potential brand split. I want to touch on this because we had a couple questions about it already. Vince McMahon had his conference call yesterday and made a couple announcements saying that Randy Orton, Cena, Seth Rollins, and Bray Wyatt should be coming back on TV in about a month. So that's pretty cool. We'll get to some scenarios after that, but he also said that just about 13 talent are going to be thrust into this environment now from NXT. So you can count Apollo Crews, Dana Brooke, Vaude Villains, that's 4, Enzo and Cass, that's 6, Baron Corbin, 7. Who else?
Sami Zayn.
Sami Zayn, 8. Oh, for counting this year, yeah, 8. Yeah, that's what we have. So we have five more. 5 more talents that could possibly be up in this scenario. I think it's good that they're adding depth. You know, it's going to come a time where Triple H is going to come back on TV and he's going to get Shane's face saying, "Oh, you raided my locker room. You took away all my guys while I was gone." And Shane's like, "Well, what have you been doing the last 2 months? You've been sitting on vacation after Roman Reigns took your title away from you and you haven't said a goddamn thing." For anything. I'm talking about on screen. Obviously, Triple H does a lot behind the scenes. I'm not stupid. But do you, what are your guys' thoughts about the returns coming back? Is the brand split more reality that can happen with the more guys that are being added, or do you think that more guys are going to be released because of this?
Ooh, I think a little bit of both. I mean, I think that, and again, it sucks. Whatever's going on with Adam Rose, man. I don't know, and I'm not. That's why I think it's better that we all wait until we find out what's really going on before we pass judgment and make any kind of decision on this. But but with the Ryback situation, it seems like they're about to trim more fat, so to speak.
Yeah.
But when is having too much talent ever a problem? Like I can understand it'll get clunky, But I wanted to tie into just a real quick because we got a question about the WWE Hawaii special. Think about this, like whenever like John Cena comes back, we're having John Cena versus Shinsuke Nakamura, and we're having Kevin Owens versus Brock Lesnar. And yeah, we don't know what kind of match we're gonna get this at, but Nakamura versus Cena is insane. I know that my buddy Simon over in the UK is probably losing his mind whenever that came out. So I think that the more talent they sign and how they keep cross-branding this talent, did any of us ever think we would see Cena versus Nakamura?
No. No,
and it's not going to be like a 20-minute, drag out, but I think like that to me that stands out as like the world's going to be watching that match. And I know guys, no matter what you think about Cena, listen, he is the biggest name in North American professional wrestling. Nakamura is the biggest name in the East. This is really the biggest name in the East versus the West. This is really what this is. And this is an enormous global appeal. Like, this is brilliant, brilliant business.
And there's a lot of people that said they want to see this as a network special. I think it'd be cool. I mean, obviously they've done a show in Toronto. They did one in Japan. We had that one special at MSG. But I think it'd be cool. Owens and Lesnar, I'm fine with that. The only thing is, are people going to go out of their way after that match's over saying, oh, God, Kevin Owens is buried after Brock Lesnar kicks his ass in that match? You know what I mean? I don't think it's the thing where Brock Lesnar's going to beat Owens in 6 minutes, but even if Owens loses that match, I'm just fair warning everybody. I already know. I can see the tweets coming out. Oh, God, he's getting buried. Who's booking this shit? Shut the fuck up.
Maybe he just walks out mid-match.
Probably. Oh, man. Anyways, John Cena, we talked about that. He's probably going back for the U.S. title. I think it's a fine thing. You don't need John Cena back in the title scene anytime soon. If you want to do that during WrestleMania season, sure, that's fine. I mean, he's been mid-card matches for the last 3 WrestleManias, I guess. Well, the exception of this year because he was just helping The Rock for whatever reason. And then also you had Seth Rollins coming back. Now here's the thing, though. Everybody keeps saying about, oh, Roman Reigns needs to turn heel. I'm putting the final nail coffin into this whole debate because I put a post on this on Facebook the other day, and when you really look into this, the nuts and bolts of this, we're really making ourselves look like dumbasses, and we're really arguing about a lame topic, if you really think about it. Okay, so what do we want? Roman Reigns to turn heel. Okay, Roman Reigns turn heels. Oh, everybody loves the guy. Oh, Roman Reigns turns heel. The crowd's supposed to boo louder? Come on. You're not going to get louder boos than you're getting right now. Well, the exception if you're in Omaha, Nebraska and Bumblefuck, Texas every week. Maybe you had that scenario there. But honestly, enough with the Roman Reigns shit. If you don't like him, cool. That's fine. That's your prerogative. At least have your genuine thought. Don't say you don't like Roman Reigns because Bumblefuck guy on the podcast doesn't like Roman Reigns. And don't say, oh, you don't like Roman Reigns because, oh, he's not a heel. That's bullshit. Because if you're a heel, then you're going to start kissing his ass.
And again, it goes down to
enough.
And dude, we live in a generation that more adults watch wrestling now, I think, than maybe ever in the history of professional wrestling. I can't do these classes anymore, guys. I can't. It's starting to really get to me. I realize that halfway through, but no. But we live in an era now where, just like anything else, man. Like we have everybody's watching and staying up to date with comic books more. Sports more. Let's face it. I mean, grown men that keep up with 4 sports. And I'm not saying like if you're in your like 30s or 40s and you still watch all 4 sports religiously, you need to get a goddamn life. You know what I mean? Like that's like, and it's no different than. But at the same time, listen, we all have our things. I'm a wrestling comics guy. Like we all have our little things. But this is an era where more adults have watched professional wrestling probably than ever. But again, it's the kids' show. So they're getting exactly what they want with Roman Reigns, and I think how they're booking him now is smart because they know that they're never going to get a full crowd pop for him. So if they book him as a guy that's going out there saying, "Listen, I don't care. I'm doing this for my family. You guys can say what you want about me. You can love me. You can hate me, but I'm the man. I'm the guy with the title. So until somebody knocks me off, I'm the man." And I think it's brilliant because I understand the crowd, but he's getting booed and all the people online they're typing up. But I always say my daughter likes when Roman Reigns wins. She's 6 years old. So let's take into consideration the generation that it's really geared towards. And I always bring this up. I know that 74% of the viewers according to WWE's website, unless it's changed within the past couple months, and I haven't checked it, but 74% are over the age or 18 or older. So they know that they have an older market, but it's more important to please the children, guys. And it's good guys versus bad guys, and I don't know. And it's so that now we're talking. It's the same conversation we always talk in circles about. But I think what they're doing with Roman Reigns is really brilliant. And again, guys, I'm not a Roman Reigns fan, but Josh is exactly what you said. Roman Reigns, it's brilliant. It's genius what they're doing.
I have a disagreement with Taz. I really do on this thing. I have a lot of respect for what he does and for what he did in the ring. I'm not digging him as a performer. I'm not knocking him as a human being. My issue with his comments saying that, it's a clusterfuck only because it's not good guy versus bad guy. I'm sorry. Roman Reigns being the bad guy and AJ is going to be the clear good guy, it's not going to do anything for me. You know why? Because more people are going to be talking about Roman Reigns than they should be talking about AJ Styles and him chasing the title. That's the era we live in now. People are more focused on Roman Reigns and dissecting every little fucking move and breath he takes more than what AJ Styles does in the ring, whether he's a good guy or a bad guy. He already told you right up front, you don't have to like the guy. So how's it a clusterfuck when he's basically saying, fuck you, I'm going to be here, defend my title, provide for my family, and if you're going to get in my way, I'm going to kick your ass. That's Roman Reigns' character. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that can relate to that. Hell, not everybody on this screen is a perfect, happy-go-glowing, rainbows and butterflies human being, but you know what? Hey, it's 2016. It's not 1985 anymore. I get it. Traditions matter and this and blah, 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 blah. But it's time to fucking evolve, man. Nobody cares about good guy, bad guy anymore. It's played out like Deadpool shows it in his movie.
And it's just like anything else, man. Football, you hear everyone always complain, well, the new rules this, the new rules that. But we heard that growing up with instant replay. Oh, instant replay sucks. It's something you get used to. It's either, again, adapt or perish. Your business model has to evolve. And professional wrestling that was going on in the mid to late 2000s would not, you want to talk about ratings right now, think about what was going on in the late 2000s, the mid to late 2000s, and like 2008, 2009, 2010. What's going on in those years, they'd be lucky if they'd be pulling, if we want to talk about ratings, they'd be lucky if they'd be pulling a 1. So let's kind of be easy with what we're talking about, guys.
Ronnie, what's your thoughts on this thing?
People read into things too much, and this guy said this, so I gotta agree with this, and blah 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 blah. Everybody, get your own goddamn opinions and stop believing what certain people say.
Yeah.
If you like something, you like something. If you hate something, you hate something.
Mm-hmm.
That's your God-given right as a fan. Don't be brainwashed because some people delusionally believe in the past and they want how things should be. It's like, no, this is 2016. The business is different. Everything is different. This isn't the olden days. This is the new era. Deal with it. And that's it.
You know what? And it's, to add to your point, Ronnie, I see more people now talking positive about the wrestling business in general, not just WWE, than it was 5 years ago when I restarted watching wrestling again. So, hey, so what the fuck are we bitching about? We want the business to strive and have a good vibe for it or whatever. Obviously, you're going to have to deal with your BS that comes with the business. It's just the part of the business. But, hell, I see more people more positive, and it's even have to do with a lot of stuff that's happening outside the company. Lucha Underground keeps picking up steam week after week after week. ROH, people are going nuts for Adam Cole joining the Bullet Club this past Sunday. We mentioned at the top of the show, EC3 at Evolve. I mean, the only bad part about this is we have to deal with TNA, but still, I just think, like Adam said, it's played out, it's old. We talk about the same shit over and over again on this thing.
Here's the thing, man. I think it's because maybe I remember being just a huge wrestling fan as a kid or whatever, and I just remember when it started to get real ridiculous, guys.
Yeah.
Like, the mid '90s was real tough for a minute. I don't want to name any years or anything, but it was. Look at the characters and gimmicks they had, and how could you expect anybody that was going to the business was about to crumble. So everything that you talk about, the Monday Night Wars and all that stuff, it needed to happen for professional wrestling to survive because WWE was in a bad spot. And I quit. I completely fell out of wrestling for about a year and a half, 2 years, just because it was getting insulting in a way. Just to watch, just because you're going to give me Skinner, T.L. Hopper, we're getting all these the Sultan, we're getting all these ridiculous characters, man.
And bankers.
They were there when I came back in, but it was just getting to the point where you couldn't do in the '80s anymore in the '90s because it was just we were seeing too much real TV, reality TV in the '90s was what was going on with Rodney King and Reginald Denny. Reality in the '90s is what was. I mean, that's when things changed. So you couldn't pull the wool over certain proverbial eyes anymore. And it's society is, again, we're going through another generational change. And when generations change, entertainment has to change to survive. And I'm not saying reinvent the wheel. It's just sometimes you just have to tweak some bends out. That's all.
I have something that nobody's brought up in these wrestling shows, and with what everybody talking about ratings, I want to break something to you guys. Nielsen is the most politically flawed system in metric ratings in the United States today. For cable television, for DVRs, etc., etc. I know, and I heard in an interview, old interview Vince McMahon did with Michael Lansbury. You guys remember that show Off the Record where they used to do those old shoot interviews on there? Vince would come on there, Michael Lansbury being a douchebag and cut people off all the time. By the way, I love the one he had with CM Punk because CM Punk just called him out on this bullshit the whole time. I thought that was pure gold. Anyways, Vince was on it, and this is in between Monday Night Wars, and even Vince said it in 1999 that Ted Turner and the people at whatever is it, TBS, that was the one, or TNT.
TNT,
yeah, TNT. Dude, those networking companies, they pay off Nielsen for ratings. I'm sorry to break the news to you people. Networks pay off these metric systems to make themselves look good. It's business. Of course, when you have a company run by Ted Turner, of course they're going to come off with the best way to make themselves look good. It's not rocket science. Okay, let's say USA Network wants to pump out a new show and they don't want to advertise Raws that much during the week. They're going to do that. So maybe the ratings are going to go down from the cable point of that. My point is with the ratings, I don't even think ratings is at a relevance at this point. You have more people breaking down downloads than you have ratings these days. I mean, on iTunes charts, movies, grossing money. Hell, WWE had a good quarter this month again on the revenue side. So my point in the ratings things for the people that aren't sure bookers about ratings, even though they don't know two shits about the television business, do your research, please.
Here's another point that I'd like to. I want to see what you guys think about this. I think within 2 to 5 years, and I know that people are going to say, well, it's a weird generalization. I worked in the tech world for 18 years. It's how these things work. Somewhere between 2 and 5 years, none of us are going to have cable anymore. Here's the thing: Hulu very soon, I believe, is going to start showing Raw and SmackDown, aren't they? Live. So you're telling me somebody like myself that really only watches Comedy Central, Raw, and
Gotham,
okay, I can get basically all those on Hulu for $9.99 a month, plus the WWE Network for $9.99 a month, My wife's a big HBO fan. We get what the thing that you could just get HBO Go for what, like $12, $15.
Cool.
We just got rid of cable. See, and that's what's happening. People are going to shake their head. No, no, it's going to be a major factor. We're going to see a shift. It was just like in wireless sales, man. As soon as they first started putting cameras in phones, I said, just wait till you see what's next. I said, in 2 to 5 years, you guys are going to have the world in your hands where you're literally going to be talking to people like it's like the future. Everybody laughed at me, and it was like 3 years later the iPhone was out.
Yeah.
Pay attention to technology, man. Pay attention to the way society's moving. WWE is very intelligent with what they're doing. The Hulu move coming in the future, whenever that happens, the fact that they're even talking about it or plans are in place, that shows how far ahead of the game they are, guys. And that's to me where the Nielsen ratings, they do matter when it comes to corporate sponsorships, guys. I understand that. I'm not a moron. But at the end of the day, in today's world, that doesn't mean people aren't watching. And when you go to shareholder meetings, you can use this. I think it's brilliant because, again, I just think in 2 to 5 years, Nielsen ratings are going to be so irrelevant, it's not even going to be funny because it's just so many people are going to drop either cable or satellite. So you can get anything you want everywhere else.
Yeah, and plus at the same time, more than ever, people have the right to watch wherever they want, whenever they want, and it's a difference where you have paying what $30 a month or whatever, as opposed to 200 or almost 300, depending whatever cable service you have each month. Hey, you have the right to watch your entertainment in your own way at your own time, and I think that's pretty cool. And who knows, maybe one of these days Raw and SmackDown will be aired live on the network. Who knows? I honestly feel one day that Vince is going to do his own thing on the network and fuck everybody else. Who knows? Maybe they might even go back to being an independent company once they bring everything to the network. They could do that.
Josh, I do think there was something behind what you're saying because I think that if eventually, and this isn't going to be anytime soon, guys, what I'm saying,
Yeah.
but I think when, like I said, I think there's a 2 to 5 year period where, again, sometimes you might have to stay on broadcast television for a little bit longer, but they might be able to, and if they did air Raw live on the network versus on the USA Network, let's look at the pay-per-views versus the pay-per-views. You always get that disclaimer up front. This does not, represent the corporate views of all of everyone, basically our shareholders and blah, 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 the warning they have to put up. So Raw would probably be a little edgier at times too, and it doesn't always have to be, but they could keep it at that area where every once in a while they could cross a certain line. Yeah. And I think that's where eventually they would want to go. And I don't know, guys. I just think it's we hang on to this number so much because people talk about it, and I get it. It's a talking point, so let's it's something that But in 2 to 5 years, it's going to be such a moot point. Like people tripping about Harriet Tubman on the $20 bill when it's not going to get issued until 2030. Guys, we ain't going to be using cash. The only people who are going to be using cash in 2030 are strippers and drug dealers. Don't get it twisted. So.
Hey, a couple more things before we wrap up the show. I saw Captain America this past Friday, right after I was done with my sports show. Very, very good. It's probably the best Captain America movie I've ever seen. I wasn't a fan of the first two, to be honest with you. I thought they dragged in certain ways. But this one was awesome, man. Just off the charts. I'm sure some people were like, whatever, like they would need another Avengers movie or whatever. But this one's good. I think this one really hit the real needle that they needed for that movie. Ronnie, you saw the movie too, my friend. What's your thoughts on Civil War?
I thought it was really good. I'm not going to go into spoilers, but there's a lot of great stuff that happens. Guess who was an idiot and left after the first credit scene? I had no idea there was going to be a second one. I should know better because being the Marvel fan who always sits through the whole damn credits, I'm like, oh, there's nothing else. And then what happens? I'm sure a lot of people have seen it by now, so I'll just throw it out there. They show Spider-Man coming home, and then Aunt May is just like, oh, who are you fighting? And he's just like, oh, some guy from Steve named Brooklyn. Or from Brooklyn. And then they show the spider signal, Like, I'm like, well, shit, they're bringing the spider signal back, Yeah. And Adam, go ahead. You're good now.
You know what's funny about this, though? There was a whole big bugaloo about Aunt May and how young she looked, or whatever. Hey,
Yeah.
it brought back wrestling too because she was in the wrestler and she's hot, so it
Yeah.
was fine with me.
Fine as hell, too.
Marissa Tomei, she gets better with age too, man. I mean,
Does.
she's
Yeah.
a beautiful, beautiful woman, beautiful.
Phenomenal.
No, but it was a very good movie. I was happy with it. I think it made up for what Ultron was lacking.
hmm
Because, in my opinion, Ultron was good, but it wasn't that good. But I feel like that's why they made Captain America Civil War the way it was, because they made up for all that shit. But I'm looking forward to the future of Marvel, because it's going to be really good. And speaking of Marvel, Deadpool came out yesterday.
Days, like I said. So, Ronnie, let me ask you a question. Let me ask. So, Josh, you both saw Civil War?
Yep.
Okay, so which was better, Civil War or Batman vs Superman? I haven't seen either yet.
Civil War.
I'll admit, I'm really waiting for the Killing Joke and Suicide Squad to come out, and
Civil War. Civil War was better than Batman Superman.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Ronnie in this one. I think Civil War is better. And I honestly think the Batman that Ben Affleck's directing and probably going to star in it is going to be better than Batman versus Superman. That's my opinion because I thought Ben Affleck stole that Batman versus Superman movie, in my opinion. So, yeah, I'll go with Civil War.
Seems to be the consensus. Yep, seems to be what everyone's saying.
And you know what? We can keep going on here, but what other movies besides Suicide Squad are you guys looking forward to coming out summer? I know there's the new Independence Day that's coming out. I think that's, I don't know, X-Men.
X-Men Apocalypse, baby. That movie, X-Men's gonna be awesome. There's too many haters with that new cast. The new cast is brilliant. I like it. People, again, everything always has to be the same as the first, or it has to be like, let things be reimagined. I can't wait, and not to keep bringing up Suicide Squad, but I can't wait till when it's all said and done, people are saying that Jared Leto is going to be the most accurate Joker of all time. I can't wait. I'm serious. I can't wait till everyone's going to have to eat crow and say, you know what, Nicholson did what he was supposed to do, and Ledger did what he was supposed to do, but Leto was like the Joker that has been mainly in the comics, and that's what people are going to say. And it's so. I don't know why everyone. I love the new X-Men movie. I love the cast. I can't wait for that movie to come out.
How about you, Ronnie?
This X-Men movie, it's basically our childhood. It's the 90s, and it's basically the animated series. And you have Jubilee, and everybody's in it. I'm excited about Jubilee because I was a big Jubilee fan. She's not going to shoot fireworks out of her hands, unfortunately, but she's going to be pretty awesome. I'm also looking forward to Suicide Squad. What the hell's his name? Strange.
Doctor
Strange. That looks interesting. I'm looking forward to the new Ninja Turtles movie because I'm a big Ninja Turtles fan. What else is coming? Oh, I'll pop for Disney. I'm looking forward to Alice Through the Looking Glass. That should be pretty good.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking forward to that. Even though I think Rocky's a little bit too smiley, and I think his shtick in wrestling's kind of played out, I am looking forward to that movie he's having with Kevin Hart in the summer. Central Intelligence. That one looks very funny.
Yeah, it looks good. There's a lot of good movies coming out this summer, and it's gonna be good. It's gonna be a good summer for movies, I think.
Yes.
The Rock and Kevin Hart have really good chemistry together. Like really good. If anybody, and I'll admit, I watched the MTV Movie Awards to fast forward through and get the Suicide Squad sneak peek. Yes, I'm that big of a Joker mark, guys. Realize this. The Rock and Kevin Hart, their chemistry is insane. It's so natural and so organic and just like that's going to be one that I saw the trailer and was like, oh, really? We're going to go through another, but dude, that might be a can't miss.
You know, I'm surprised they haven't shown Sheamus on TV since Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles coming out. It has been missing in action since the League of Injuries got disbanded.
They will. I mean, the Ninja Turtle movie is sponsoring Extreme Rules, so...
yeah, that's right.
They're going to have to. And I also like how in the actual Ninja Turtle previews, you don't hear Sheamus' voice when they show Rocksteady, which is freaking hilarious. I'm like, we all know Rocksteady's going to have an Irish accent, so let's all just accept it now. In the new cartoon series, he's Russian, so he has a Russian accent. In the movie, he's going to be Irish. And then the original cartoon, he was just fucking retarded. So it's just gonna be great. I can't wait. Do we have any verification that we're getting Saw 9 in October? Is this happening?
No, I haven't heard. No, not.
I hear rumors and then I see a poster, but no one's saying anything about it. But if we get Saw 9 in October, that'd be fantastic.
Speaking of movies, by the way, I saw the Rogue One trailer before Civil War came out. That looks pretty interesting, actually. I'm looking forward to that. They got the big ass walking machines now in the movie too. I think that's gonna be pretty cool. I remember as a kid watching that. Like, my dad always like, "Oh, the Star Wars in the '70s are always great in my era." Blah 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 blah. my grandma liked those movies. Yeah.
Listen, those are the ones I grew up with, and I'll admit, sometimes they're hard to watch.
Like
the dialogue is so
brutal.
It's a third grade level that, like, and no wonder why it's it's great, but at the same time, it's like, oh man, it's bad.
Mace Windu. Anybody in for some Mace Windu?
There's from the biggest Star Wars fan in the world, or at least that I know.
Anyways, before we let go the show, any last thoughts, guys? Ronnie?
Not really. I'm good.
Cool. Adam?
Yeah, I would actually give it a big shout out to the New Day for once again keeping it 100 and making it too real for the crowd to even respond. I thought that was one of the funniest moments of Raw. Sometimes the truth hurts, but it's just history, man. But no, you know what, everyone? I hope everyone had a good week. Happy belated Mother's Day to any mothers who potentially could be watching out there. And yeah, let's make Darren Young great again.
Yes. Oh, that's gonna be gold. I heard there's a new segment on SmackDown this week, so we'll see where this goes. Anyways, make sure to follow the Steel City Saviours. First, follow Ronnie on Twitter at Ronnie Starks. Thank you, good sir, for coming on, my friend. Also follow Mr. Daley at Twitter at AdamDaley13. Rest in peace, light up jacket. You still have the scars, but we'll get there. Make sure to check out Wrestling With tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. That's going to be a good show. Ronnie and Adam will be on the show. Also the great Sam Daley, Mr. Fritz, who knows, maybe Bane will show up tonight, who knows. Always a cast of characters on Wrestling With. I'm at Twitter at WC Josh Lopez. I'll add the MichaelColeWeekly.com interview to this podcast as always. The podcast drops on iTunes. Download it. Tell a friend about it. If you like what we bring to the table here, just shooting the shit about the business we love and not holding anything back. This is the show for you, the wrestling fans, and I appreciate you guys taking the time to check out the show. For Mr. Starks, for Mr. Daley, I'm Josh. This is episode 3 of the Josh Lopez Wrestling Podcast. Keep it classy and keep it 100. Peace.